it?
I think all three of us, right, we can say that we've been around since the start of the S League. 1996.
Don't go on about it.
We're
We're only 25.
We've seen
Hello and welcome to part 2 of Yahoo Footballing Weekly with me, Yahoo columnist Neil Humphreys, and a gloating Liverpool supporter over there.
Yahoo up. Yahoo editor Chia Keong. See, too happy about it.
He's so happy, man.
Yeah, but we also got a happy fan here, Arsenal fan, Eric Ong here.
hi, how's everyone?
And more importantly, a very loyal and supporting
Local
football fan of local football, which of course is what we talk about in part 2, Singapore football. And thank you again so much for your comments. They're coming in week on week, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter,
Yeah,
LinkedIn, for heaven's sake. We get comments everywhere.
And it's a good thing, it's not those just whack. I mean, we get some of those, obviously, but
Yep.
we get quite a few of them who give good suggestions, good opinions.
Yep.
And what this tells us is that, there are people who still want Singapore football to succeed.
Correct.
But I mean, obviously, the Singapore football has not. Has got ups and downs. Got its ups and downs.
Yep.
But they still giving suggestions to somehow try to make the local football seem better than it is right now.
My favourite, which we'll get to, is Sunny Ung. We've got so many loyal listeners now.
Yeah.
Sunny Ung is maintaining an argument over weeks now.
Yeah.
We've had a back and forth with Sunny for several weeks now. I want it to go on all season. So we'll get to that one later. But in the meantime, what have we got first?
So we've got this one, what the name? The Fact Whisperer. Okay, this reader says, I think SPL can do a better job using social media to reach out to more people to come and watch the games. SPL can pay for Facebook ads, YouTube ads, and then every advertisement to include a link to purchase the ticket online. I feel they need better marketing tactics to reach out to the younger generations. Every product needs some kind of marketing. Yeah, I think he has a point there, but I also think that they have done a lot. I mean, things have changed quite a lot from when we first started out reporting 20 years ago. Now you have a YouTube channel live streaming all the matches.
Yeah.
Which is great. I think it's wonderful. I think if you go down to the stadiums themselves, you have a lot of fan engagement, merchandise to buy. And sometimes you have cheerleaders from Albirex, Niigata. So cute. They are very young cheerleaders.
And you get the hunky on groupies who are now turning up every game now to come and harass you. Because we're celebrities now because of this. Because of this. Because of the local fans.
I watch your podcast. Well done.
Which ties in with my point about the one thing I will say. I don't disagree. There's no harm in the Singapore Premier League pushing more on the Instagram side, particularly the TikTok side, because us two old farts, we're getting Harry Styles levels of responses. You're laughing. 6 figures we get, right? This is no joke. Our director knows. He's watching.
450k, man.
200,000 views, 200,000, 100,000. If you combine our Instagram and TikTok, it's sometimes up to 500,000 views, Eric. And we're just talking about local football. Mind blown. So if two old farts talking about local football can get 500,000 views on TikTok, then the Singapore Premier League, why not?
I think the Fact Whisperer is what he calls. I think he does have a point. And not just the Singapore Premier League. I think the clubs are doing more. For sure. I think if you look at the big clubs, Sailors for
Geylang
one, Tampines, Hougang. I could probably list them all, but I just name a few. I think they're doing a lot more engagement online. It's not just this season. I think if you look in the last 4 or 5 seasons, from the main official website, Facebook page, Instagram, and all that, you get the highlights. Highlights, stats, everything coming on.
We had a Sailors fan from Eddie. We came on to our show about 2 weeks ago. He's holding his own podcast. He's doing his own YouTube channel where he's interviewing the Lion City's fans after the matches, and then ask them of their opinions and then putting it up online. These are very grassroots things. You take a little bit Might take a little bit to find them.
So does Roshan. Roshan does the final whistle.
Final
right?
whistle, yeah.
Gets good figures, good viewing figures. It's building. What I'm saying is, organically, it is building. I feel like because of social media, we can leverage off this. I actually believe that social media, this idea that social media has killed local football because there's too many distractions.
No.
I think the opposite. I think it's slowly starting to enhance it.
I think all three of us, right, we can say that we've been around since the start of the S League. 1996.
Don't go on about it.
We're
only 25.
We've seen it evolve from 96 to today.
Yeah.
You know, like Han Keong said, it's ups and downs and all that. But in the era of social media, you know, when did really social media come about? Maybe about 15, 16 years ago. I truly believe in the last 5, 6 years, he has really taken on the next step. Yeah. Can it be better? Of course it can be better. All of us can be better. But I think right now it is as good as it can be, you know, given the circumstances and all that.
Right, which is very good. So that ties in with our next comment from Stanley Wong. Thank you very much, Stanley. He's saying, you know, just focus on the product because we've said in previous weeks, freebies, whatever we can give away, whatever we can do to get people into the stadium is a good thing. Stanley partly disagrees. Stanley says, to give freebies to fans, how long can this last? And the freebies in the past didn't succeed in creating a loyal fan group. How will it be possible now?
A bit harsh, I think.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I think the thing is not to stop trying.
Exactly.
I think, yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But, you know, you got to keep thinking of new things, new marketing ideas, new gimmicks, whatever it takes to get them had a first view of the matches, then try to keep them.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. We are not in a privileged position, as we said before, to adopt some kind of holy end position.
Yeah,
you know,
we're not going to do this.
Certain things are beneath us.
No.
We are not. What I would say is, yes, in the end, I agree with Stanley. I think we all would, that the product will have to stand by itself eventually.
Yep.
And I'll compare our freebies to the current Ant-Man movie, Ant-Man and what's it called? Ant-Man and the Wasp and the Quantum Gobbledygook, right? Because if you compare the Singapore Premier League marketing to the Ant-Man marketing, yes, at the start it was completely blitzkrieg, throw everything at it, all social media channels. Then people went to the cinema and they realised that the new Ant movie is pretty crap. And the box office fell. It's true. The box office has fallen off a cliff.
Yeah, they did.
But it was the marketing that gets people in the doors first. Get them through the turnstiles first, and then hopefully the product will take care of itself.
And the product isn't that bad right now. I can assure you. I mean, I've seen the lean times, and those were dreadful. But it's no more. I think they are very good players right now. Very good players. I can name a few like Lestienne, Bezecourt.
Line City Sailors alone have got 4 or 5 really good players right through the spine.
Worth watching. Worth spending a bit of 3 hours of your time in the weekends and sit down there and have fun. Yeah.
So I have a perspective on this. You know, we are all football fans, right? And we had a starting point in our lives, how we became a football fan in the first place. You know, it's going to the first game is that the joy, seeing the excitement that. But for me, it's the emotional attachment that I have formed with a team. That gets me to come back again. All right. And what I mean by emotional attachment, that means when I'm really involved with the team, and the results matter. Okay. When we lose, I'm not happy. When we win, I'm happy. Yeah. Okay. That's a very, very basic form of why we love this sport, you know. And you go through the ringer, you go through hard times and all that. That's when you're ready to become a fan. And to me, if you do not have a favorite team, that makes the whole product a bit more. You need to be entertained by something else. Okay, I'll give you an example. I'm an Arsenal fan. We're here, Arsenal fan. I watched Liverpool Man U that day. I was not excited by it. Okay, because there's not no. I'm saying that because I don't really have an emotional attachment to both teams, and in fact, if there's a way for both teams to lose, I would want that to happen. Okay, that would be the ideal scenario for Liverpool Man U. I'm speaking objectively because
that is true.
Yeah, because from young I've grown to dislike these two teams because from the 80s Liverpool were the team at the top. I want them to lose all the time.
That is true.
Then Man U were because of our rivals. So I've been conditioning to want them to lose all the time. And that was my why I watched the game. So you come to local football from young, from when I first started, I chose a team to be my favorite team. Okay, it was Marine Castle, became Alcan United.
Yes.
From then.
My local team.
Okay. But at the same time, there were teams that I disliked. So when they were playing, whoever they were playing,
Warriors.
I want them to lose.
Correct.
So
Warriors.
when it was SAFFC, it was Home United. Why? Because they were like the PSG, the Man City.
that's what Man City of
That's what we
Singapore.
say.
That's what we
Exactly.
say.
That's
Yeah.
So they
exactly what
brought all the
We want
good
that
players.
back. We want that back.
So you see, these are the teams that when they play, I was invested because I want them to lose. I want my team to do well. So when you have that connection, you want to go to a game.
Yep.
And you don't have to watch every game. And you look, in the EPL, nobody watches every game.
Nope.
Last night, who played?
Brentford.
And Fulham. How many of you watched that game?
No.
Very fair.
I know exactly how you feel. Every week I want Arsenal to lose. So I know exactly how you feel. I agree with you.
Yeah.
But on a serious note,
yeah.
you make a really good point there, Eric.
Yeah.
You know, this idea that it's all about the quality.
No.
I find,
it's not about the quality.
I probably shouldn't say this as a professional journalist, but I
Yeah.
find a lot of Champions League football really boring.
Of course.
Really boring.
Of
because
course.
I don't have an interest.
Yeah, no interest.
Yes.
I have no interest. Yeah, the quality's
though-
there,
yeah.
but they
No.
kind of cancel each other out because they're playing at a
No.
level playing field.
So it's 0-0, 1-1.
I've seen Champions League finals, and I'm not saying this to curry favour. I genuinely believe this. I have seen Champions League finals that did not excite me or reach me on a visceral level in the same way that I remember watching Tanjong Pagar against the Warriors at the old Chua Chu Kang Stadium.
Yeah.
6,000 fans, and they hated each other. They hated each other.
Yeah.
The Jaguars against the uniform team, it was real, it was nasty, it was tribal, it was
wonderful.
visceral. It was far better than any Champions League game on television.
So if you see in today's league, in the SPL, the Tampines fans and the Geylang fans, there's a bit of a rivalry.
Yes,
going
the
on.
East clubs,
Eastern,
yeah.
And to a large extent, a lot of clubs are against Lion City Sailors.
Yep.
Because
they are the
they're Johnny Come Lately.
Yeah, they're the Man City of
PSG,
Singapore.
So
PSG.
You look at their fans. Okay, they are coming in droves, which is great for local football. But were you around when Home United were around?
Yeah.
So we're not sure. Okay.
But we want that. We want that animosity.
We want that animosity.
We want it. It's
want
healthy.
We want that edge.
tribalism.
That's what we need. And to build that, you need to have that connection with one team.
Yeah.
And you've got to watch that team week in, week out. You don't have to be at the stadium
Yes.
all the time. You can be watching it online. It's live on YouTube, live on Singtel, StarHub. Can I mention that?
You can mention whoever you like.
Yeah, you want to mention, yeah.
Yeah. So this is where you build a connection, and that's how I built my connection with my teams from young. That's how it is.
So make the move. Make
Couldn't
the
agree
move.
more.
Yeah.
It's that simple,
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Football tribalism, in essence, is
Yes.
picking a team and hating everybody else.
Yes.
That makes football's merry-go-round go
Bring back
round.
Woodlands. Bring back Woodlands so that I can hate the other clubs.
That's what we want, a nice bit of feisty competition,
Yeah.
which leads me back to my old friend,
Sonny Young.
Sonny
Sonny
Ong,
Ong.
who will not give up. God bless you, Sonny. I hope you keep writing in every week. For those who didn't listen to previous podcasts, Sonny said initially that to make the league more competitive, we should introduce points deductions
Yeah.
for teams who finish bottom.
Yeah. Because
So-
there's no relegation.
Correct,
Yeah.
because without relegation, they become dead rubbers, meaningless. To use an Aussie phrase, teams might end up tanking because there's no point to play.
Yeah.
If there's points deduction, they'll play. We argued in a previous podcast,
It's not fair.
it's not fair because the likes of Young Lions are already playing with certain handicaps that are in place. They're an age development squad, so they haven't got as many overage players. And then you want to whack them some more by giving them a points deduction for the following season if they finish bottom. That's where we left it, or so we thought. Sonny wrote back and said, just to add that the main reason why I suggested a points deficit for the bottom teams is so that teams have something to fight for and we wouldn't have to see dead rubber matches during the second half of the season when the bottom teams might just go through the motions. Eric, what do you think first? Because we have gone back and forward on this
Back and
for
forth.
weeks.
Okay, I give you the context in European football. Okay, so you talk about a team like Aston Villa and Crystal Palace right in the center. Okay, maybe Aston Villa now. Okay, kind of safe from relegation, not really threatening the top.
Yeah.
So are they going through the
Yeah,
motion?
mid-table.
I'm not sure. But you know what has changed in European football in the last 20, 30 years when they became a top 4 kind of thing to qualify for Europe Champions League. In the past, if you remember, of course, Han can remember, you only go to the European Cup if you win the league.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I support West Ham. I have no say in this conversation. Yes.
And then now you have Europa League places, Conference League places, and that's where teams like Aston Villa right now, even though they are in 10, 11, a good run towards the end season gets them knocking on the doors of Europe. There's everything to play for.
Yep.
In the Singapore context, I think you have places to play for Asian competitions.
Yep.
Okay, so of course, there are other leagues. If you look at the Dutch league, what they've done, instead of if you finish top 4, you go to the Champions League. You finish 2nd to 5th, there's an additional playoff for the 2 spots for
Champions League,
for Europe.
But how does that help teams in Singapore who are like bottom 3 teams, for example?
So okay, then another league that you can look, for example, is the A League. A League is the close league, no relegation.
Yep.
So they have A League finals,
playoffs.
So top
grand
6,
finals, they
grand
call it.
finals.
Yeah.
So to qualify for that, you need to finish in the top 6. So if you're 7 or 8 or 9, you know
they borrowed the Aussie
Yeah.
rules model.
Yeah. So there are many models out there. So I think, of course, the league. What I can say is that, of course, you can maybe adopt some of these models in the future. I don't think we are in a position to go for relegation.
I think the thing is that this is not just an SPL case.
No.
It's not a situation.
MLS is the same thing.
Every league in the world suffers from the same dead rubber situation.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Because obviously there's only going to be a handful of teams going to challenge for title, and maybe a handful of teams fighting relegation. There's going to be a big bunch of teams which are not in the second half of the season won't be involved. But surely starting off with points deficit, that part isn't the right way to counter this situation.
No.
Like you said, you can do playoffs. Maybe that's a thing that maybe they can consider to incorporate into the
equivalent of Intertotal Cup or some extra cup, little trophy. There's all kinds of ways. What we're all basically saying is, Sonny, again, is that carrot, 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 as opposed to stick, stick, stick. Because what else will happen if you do bring in this points deduction? Sonny's argument is it will make them, lift their games. If they're already struggling,
I don't think
you know
they
what's
will.
going to happen? The better players in those teams are going to be straight on the phone to their agents and negotiating a move. It already happens in leagues around the world.
Yeah.
If teams are knowing if players know they're probably going to get relegated, they've already got 1 foot out the door. So then you're being penalised twice.
Correct.
You've got the points deduction, and your 2-3 best players have gone to Tampines or Lion City Sailors.
And the
It's
next
a double
season,
punishment.
nobody want to join your team because you have a 15 points deficit.
Everybody wants to leave.
Yes.
Nobody wants to join, and you've got a 15-point deficit. Apart from that, Sonny, it's a fantastic idea.
The club will fall straight away. Fall. The club will say, "What for I play?" Close.
But Sonny, don't give up. Come back again next week. Let us know what you think about
the
that.
beauty of football, right?
It's zero.
Every time it's the start of season.
It's 0.
Yeah,
That's where
0-0.
every team has hope,
Yeah.
and it's the hope that kills you, right?
Yeah, and that's hope that we shall very kills.
What is this hope you speak of? As a West Ham
This is
fan,
a really salty
what
West
is
Ham
this
fan.
hope?
This
thing you-
season, I
they're
think-
going
yeah,
down.
yeah.
They're going down.
Don't worry, there are 3 worse teams than you guys. Don't worry.
I don't think there are. But that's a whole other argument. All right, let's wrap this thing up. International Football Week, Keong, what's happening?
Yep. So now it's coming up. So obviously, Singapore national team Lions will be involved in it. They're going to play friendlies against Hong Kong and Macau, away friendlies. So also the under-22 team, which is going for the SEA Games in May, also will be playing some in the revived Merlion Cup tournament. Merlion Cup has been on and off. It used to be a senior game, but now it's more like an under-22 game. So they'll have a quadrangular in Singapore. They will start by playing Hong Kong first, Singapore versus Hong Kong. The other side will be Cambodia versus Malaysia. Then the winners will meet in the final.
When is this?
24th to 26th of March. Yeah.
Nice,
End of this
nice.
month.
And what do you think, Eric? What's the hopes or expectations for this one?
Yeah.
I think the Merlion Cup is a prep for the team going to the SEA Games. So for this team not many opportunities to play international football. I think it's important. And importantly, it replicates the schedule of the SEA Games. The SEA Games schedule is brutal. You play a game, you rest, you play a game every 2 days. Every 3 days, you play a game. So this is an opportunity for team to go through that kind of schedule. You have Cambodia, Malaysia in over here as well. Cambodia as a host, I think they've really prepared well for this. The SEA Games that they're hosting. They're preparing this team since I think maybe 2 years ago.
Wow.
I think 2 or 3 years ago. And then of course Hong Kong and Malaysia coming here. I think it's good test for our boys. Yeah.
And good test for fans to go down and watch.
Yes,
as well.
sure. Watch.
Get that tribalism going.
Yeah. As for Lions, I mean, obviously this is their first matches after the AFF Mitsubishi Cup. And this year, I don't think there's many major tournaments
this year
line up.
This year we do have World Cup qualifiers that starts in October.
Okay.
So the next 3 windows is important for us to.
Do you think coach would put in try to experiment with new players, young players?
I think friendly matches are always an opportunity for the coach to have a look at players. And it's not just during the international weeks. I think it's throughout the season in the Singapore Premier League. That's where week in, week out, that's where they perform. And of course, if you do well, you should be called up to the national team.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, let's finish by talking about that on an optimistic, upbeat note. We discussed it briefly last week with our previous guest, Roshan. Some good young players coming through, Eric, and getting opportunities as well. I mean, we've got a few here. Joel Chu.
Jonathan.
Glenn Quay.
And we got the fourth Fandi.
The fourth Fandi. Where's the statue? Build a statue to the family. Build a statue for all of them now. Just build a family statue for all the Fandi family. Even Iman and Wendy Jacobs.
Everybody
just all have a statue outside the stadium. But it's a good time for the young players coming through, getting opportunities.
Yeah, for sure. I think football is always the cycles and a new generation coming through. But it's also about them taking the step up. And in football, sometimes it's a sliding doors moment. You get the opportunity, you have to take it. Yeah, so that's important. Be it in the league, some of these players are coming in maybe for 10 minutes, 5 minutes. You talk about Jordan, one of the younger players, 16. I know he got an opportunity just the other week with the Sailors. This is where you get the opportunity to shine. And then if you do get caught up, be it at under 19 level, under 22 level, or even at a senior level, that's where you need to go there and say, I belong here.
Fantastic.
Yeah, you need to show that. Yeah.
Okay.
3 Singaporean Chinese boys there, which is very encouraging. All right, just for people watching, give us a little tip or advice. Which player should we keep an eye on? Young fans watching this, they want to go out, watch a Singapore Premier League game. Which are the young players to watch? Go down and support.
For me?
Yeah, for anyone watching. So say we've got a next generation coming through. These are the ones we should be looking at.
Well, we mentioned a couple of names there. I think Glenn, who was kept for the senior team last year. If you ask Glenn 2 years ago, and they say you're going to be, representing the country in a year's time, he wouldn't have believed you. Because he was out of action, he was in national service, and then, he came out of it, and he joined the Young Lions and made his debut. I think he scored on his debut against Hougang.
Yeah.
And that was, and he kept on working, and he's still starting right now.
Fantastic.
And then I think he's done well at international level. He's fearless. He's good left foot. You talk about Joel, he's completed his national service as well. He's now embarking on a full-time career with Tampines. Of course, he's still got a bit of a way to go, but it's promising. It's a lot of players that you look for. Last year, I think the Shah goes to Shah Shahiran, I think. Yeah. Shah, he made his debut for us in March against.
I think he did well in the AFF Cup.
Against Philippines and Malaysia.
Yep.
And from then on, he has played every single A international.
Fantastic.
Everyone.
Yep.
So there are players to watch. There is a pathway. You can play the game, you can watch the game, and you can balance your studies. These boys are proving it. So get out there and watch them this weekend in the Singapore Premier League.
This weekend, this Friday, LB Rex versus Lion City Sailors this Friday.
Wow, you're very stern then, huh? You looked over the top of your glasses.
Yeah, top of the table, the top title challengers clash.
That'll be a big game.
Big game.
Let's try and get down there.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So
That's
we will.
better than Liverpool Man United.
Oh,
He had to slip one in.
No way.
He had to slip one
But
in.
do go down
Come
there.
on.
But do go down.
And everything's better than West Ham. So get yourself down to the Singapore Premier League and the Lions when they play their games in the next couple of weeks.
Tell us your experience. Tell us your experience.
Let us know all your thoughts, suggestions about what we've talked about today. Are you excited about the next young crop of Lions coming through? Send all your thoughts and comments too.
Yahoo Southeast Asia on YouTube, Yahoo SG, Yahoo_MY on Twitter, and Yahoo SEA on TikTok. I'm getting worse at this.
Yeah, it's because you went into uncle mode. You
Yeah,
see, you went
uncle
in
mode,
uncle over the
uncle,
top of your glasses. Go, make sure you watch out the next game, huh? Fantastic. All right, guys, thank you very much, as always, for watching. We'll see you again very soon. Eric, thank you very much.
Welcome.
And we will see you. At
Good
the
luck for the Arsenal, man.
Let's go for it, man.
Yeah, good luck, Arsenal. I don't care. See you next time, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. See you soon.